Let me just ask you a couple questions, Chris. I just talked with you, and you told me you just got started back in promoting your personal injury attorney campaign, and you said you just got 12 new PI. Was it 12 new PI cases?
It's 13 actually.
13. Okay. And you'd done it. Maybe a year ago. You had a lot of success with it, and then you started hiring associates, and you have multiple offices, and so you got busy, and so you kind of dove back in. How long ago did you dive back in? Like a week or 2 weeks or?
No. It's we followed to a T the press releases. Actually, I got 3 press releases that we sent. So I had 2 different campaigns. I got 2 different campaigns going. I had like a warm market campaign we just make a list of all, any lawyers that.
But time-wise, I'm looking for time.
Time-wise, it took about a month.
Okay, so about a month ago, you started, getting back into the PI attorney marketing campaign again, and then so in that first month, you've had 13 PI cases.
Last week, I had 13 cases.
Okay, and help the viewers understand a little bit about how you did that.
I'm okay. So I'm just following the Dr. Paul formula. First we're hitting up the warm market, just lawyers that are currently with any of our patients in the office. So we made a list of those lawyers, and that was about 10 or 15 lawyers, and just maybe lawyers that I knew of that I haven't really marketed or haven't talked to them in a while, and we just plugged them into the system with the press releases. And I had to train a new girl on it, so it took me some time to get around to doing that. But then once we got into the flow, and I told her I'd give her $20 bonus for every meeting we set up, and then she's just been setting up a bunch of meetings, and I'm just following the formula, and it's a numbers game. And then I just met with a lawyer. He gave me nine new cases after our first meeting.
And so did you follow generally the PI sales presentation that we gave you?
Yeah. And I definitely, it's a little bit modified, but I hone in on certain points about, working with our medical team. We document well, document according to Colossus. We can get people in right away. We can essentially keep you from losing money on your cases also. So
okay, so you were able to show them your ability to document and get them to stop losing money on their soft tissue cases?
In a nutshell, yeah. I really wasn't like writing out the numbers.
Right.
That is helpful, but sometimes the lawyers just, I've done that in the past and it's worked, and it just depends on how much time you have and the lawyer. So I just kind of put in a nutshell all the benefits of working with us, and one of those benefits is to keep you from losing money. And
do they get it?
Yeah. Well, this guy last week did. Yeah, he sent me 9 cases.
Okay.
So now
he understood your concepts of documentation that, in all likelihood, he wasn't getting. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because he actually said, I'm working with these other doctors right now, and it doesn't seem to be working out like this. So.
Right.
So I'm sure he's testing the waters here, and if he gave me 9 cases off the bat, we're going to make sure we process these cases excellent, and I'll make sure I stay in front of them, and make sure I send them the PI email every month, and keep in contact with them. And
how about the all the different areas of documentation, was he maybe a little impressed that you knew as much as you knew with the documentation?
Yeah, I did tell him that we document, value drivers according to Colossus. Thing is some of these guys, they don't have a clue what that means. So yeah, I think it wasn't impressive.
So you actually had to teach him some value drivers, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually teach him how, okay, well, these value drivers, they make your case because they show something, an activity that someone used to be able to do and they can't do now because of their auto accident injuries. And if no one's documenting that for you, how are you going to, prove anything with the patient?
Now, Chris, when you were able to do all that, did he say to you in the end, will you send me 9 PI cases and I'll send you 9 back?
No. I don't like saying that I'm going to send them anything because I don't get that many cases to send out. I mean, I probably get a couple a month, but
my point is you know how some attorneys, when they don't respect the chiropractors, they say, well, you send me a case and then I'll send you one.
I tell them flat out, we do like to reciprocate with our lawyers because we have clinics that we do get auto accident cases from time to time. But then I say, but that's not why you want to work with us, because we definitely don't get the volume of cases you guys do. You want to work with us because we're going to ... So I kind of close with that because a lot of them they're thinking like that, and I try to shut that off.
Right. In other words, you got the referrals through value and respect, not through being his whipping boy.
Yes, exactly. And if they're going to be like that, it's best to move on, but keep them on your PI list because you just keep sending those emails and eventually it'll click. They won't read them all, but they'll probably read one and be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I should call this guy. In fact, I had a meeting with a guy about a year ago. He didn't bite. I just kept sending him emails, and then he finally just called and left a message and said, hey, I'm interested now. So we just set up a meeting with him for next week.
Right.
So that was over a year ago that we did the initial, format, with the press release 1, 2, 3, then the packet with all the press releases and the letter of introductory from another lawyer and the letter on our letterhead about what we can do for them, and the faxes and some follow-up calls.
Chris, here's my point, is so many chiropractors think they hear, well, I need more PI cases to send to the attorney, so he sends me some. And I keep telling them, so that's absolutely the wrong way of thinking about it. And you'll never get respect doing that. So prior to you learning the system, the sales system and the documentation and all that, would you have had the ability to do that? Or were you stuck in the rat race of I'll give you one, you give me one?
Well, I tell you what, I got pretty lucky when early on I met a lawyer and he knew the value of it. So I didn't really even have to do a whole lot of marketing, but I can tell you what, even when I first started doing your system, I got shut down a couple times because of that. Like they wanted cases and that's the only reason they would want to work with me. So definitely showing the value of your work you don't want to work with guys who just want cases back anyway.
Has that ever happened since you've delivered the presentation that we worked with you on? Have they ever done that to you after that presentation? Say, you give me one, I'll give you one.
Yeah, but I probably didn't do the presentation well. It was in the beginning when I just started doing them.
Has that happened since you've become comfortable with the material?
No. I actually what happened was I started doing it and then I lit on fire and then I was getting like 20 cases a month. So then I stopped doing it and then had some issues where I, cut ties with some lawyers, and then I had a problem with an associate, so then I was kind of reorganizing things, and then and I was dragging my feet too. I should have hopped right back in and never stopped, really. What
would you say about the new guys that are learning? What would you say to them about the new guys that are learning this system?
Just don't deviate. Follow the system exactly how it is, and don't try to make up your own stuff. It's not worth losing time. You don't have, you got to master it and just do it.
Now, the value of those referrals to you is, if you're getting, so how many, of course you got 13 in the last month?
We got 13 last week. I probably got 20 it's April? I probably got 20. Well, let's say this month. Yeah, I got April 7th. I probably already got 20 cases this month.
Okay, so 20 cases, and the average case value is what? How much? $4,000?
Well, I probably got 15 this month so far. At least a couple $1,000. We're trying to get into doing some other stuff too with some pain management doctors. So that could be.
So what's your case average for a PI case? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000?
I would say on the low end 2,000, and then probably on average about 4.
Okay, so 4,000 times 15.
And that can go up to 10 also.
Well, I know it can always go up or down. I'm just looking at averages here. So if you took 4,000 times 10, that's 40,000, plus 4 times 5 is 20. That's $60,000 in the last 30 days in PI cases, isn't it?
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Good stuff, isn't it?
That's good stuff.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chris.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Thanks.
Thanks.
And that's the power of educational sales, and that's the difference between knowing the difference between publicity, advertising, and educational sales, and having the knowledge and skill. So in this particular case, Chris just talked about how he just got roughly 15 in the last 30 days at a 4,000 case average. That's $60,000 a month. You take $60,000 a month times 12 months. That's $720,000 in personal injury work. $720,000 because he knows educational sales. That is the value, and that is a significant difference. And that is the difference between advertising and publicity. Educational sales in every market, not just personal injury attorney, but especially in personal injury attorney marketing, because they're not looking for chiropractors. You have to know educational sales. Advertising and publicity alone will not work because they're not looking for you. But when you do know educational sales, it exponentially magnifies your revenue and your business, just like what we're seeing with Dr. Chris.